Hello there guys, welcome to the updated version of Tokens by Gen. I did turn our token generator factory off for the past week or so because of the problems that PancakeSwap are having with the EPSTEIN bot. Now if you're not familiar with this bot, it is wrecking everyone's launch. So I decided to pause this, find a solution to the problem and then relaunch with tokens that are completely safe from the way that bot is attacking. Now the particular attack that it's doing is when you deploy your contracts and you've got your liquidity pair with your token and BNB, before you add your initial liquidity, it's sending a very small amount of BNB into your liquidity pair. And that prevents you from being able to add your liquidity, you can't set your price, and it's causing loads of problems. It's happening when people do a fair launch on PancakeSwap. It's also happening when people are doing a pre-sale on places like Pink or Genpad. Now, we found a way of getting around that problem. We can deploy nice and safely, whether you're deciding to deploy with a fair launch directly on Pancake or whether you're doing a pre-sale, you are completely safe from this EPSTEIN bot that's been wrecking all of these launches. Now, PancakeSwap are aware of the bot. They've got people trying to find a solution for it. There is also a fix that they've got out there as well. And I've gone through that fix for a couple of teams. It's quite complicated. If you're not a dev, you're going to struggle with it. And it really is a little bit of a pain to do when you've got your project to launch. So we've managed to put something together, which means you can launch either like a fair launch or a stealth launch, or you can do your pre-sale and you don't have to worry about the EPSTEIN bot messing it up for you. So this is the new Tokens by Gen. At the moment, the only token that you can make is a standard token. That's a token that does not reward your holders. So not Reflections 1 or BEP20 rewards, just a standard token. Now, there are some very flexible fees inside your contract. You have a marketing wallet, so you can set a fee for your marketing on transactions, and that's going to go to your wallet in BNB. You can set auto liquidity, which is great. It helps your token stability and to increase your price floor. And you can also set your token to burn some tokens on every transaction. And you have the option of having your burn send the tokens to the burn wallet, which is normal, or you can set it so those tokens are actually removed from your total supply. So your supply becomes deflationary. Now, those three different fee options, if you set them to 0, it's just like switching them off. So if you don't want the burn, just set it to 0. Now, you don't need to set those before you deploy. You'll deploy your contract and then you'll be able to access that on BSC scan and set your fees or change your fees whenever you need to. So I'm going to go through that process and show you exactly how it works. And you can set your fees independently on buys and on sales. So you can have your buy fee lower and your sell fee higher if you want to encourage people to hold. So this is for Binance Smart Chain. You want to be on MetaMask. This only works with MetaMask at the moment, so you'll need to install the MetaMask plugin. If you've not got that, go to metamask.io, which is their official website. Don't go to the Chrome store because there's a lot of scam ones on there. Once you've got MetaMask installed and you are connected to the Binance Smart Chain, click on Connect Wallet. I'm already connected, but it will actually pop up with your MetaMask in order for you to connect. And now you need to pop in some information for your token. So choose a name. I'm going to call mine Demo. Token symbol, I'm going to put Demo for that as well. Number of tokens you'd like is your total supply. I'm going to have 1 million. And your number of decimals. This needs to be between 2 and 18. I'm going to have 4 decimals like so. So that's all the details I need about my token. Obviously, we need to do things like set how much we want to charge people for marketing on buys and sales and all that stuff. As I've said before, we don't do that yet. We do it once the token has been created. So the token is going to deploy to this wallet that I've just connected with, and this wallet will become the owner, and this wallet will also be set as the marketing wallet and the liquidity collection wallet, but you can change those inside the contract afterwards. So we're going to click on Make Token. There's nothing to pay. There is a 2% transaction fee inside your contract tokenomics, which works in exactly the same way as a marketing wallet. When that reaches 2 BNB, it's automatically switched off. At that point, there's no fee in your contract whatsoever. So we're going to click on Make Token. And it'll come up. We've got to pay a little bit of gas. It says it's going to be $2.64. Sometimes when you try and make a token, it fails because of insufficient funding. That means that the gas price that MetaMask has selected for you is too low for the contract to do what it needs to do. So click on where it says market and change it to aggressive and it will be more likely that it will go through. Now that didn't change. Aggressive is still 264, so it's still very, very cheap, but it's more likely to go through if you put it on aggressive compared to what the website guesses you will need. So we'll pop that in. Now we've just got to wait for a moment. You can watch it on your MetaMask. It will be in here and say pending. Oh, it just went through. So when it goes through, you get this little pop-up. So click on OK, and you'll see down here, it says click here to view your transaction. Now when you click on that, it's going to take you over to BSC Scan, and you'll be able to see the transaction that just created your token. So there we go, it opens up in a new tab. And what you're looking for is this line here, BEP20 tokens transferred. Now it will say from the null address to your contract, your total supply, and the name of your token. So that's what you're looking for. It's the last thing to appear on this page. So you might see this part, but not that. Just keep waiting and refreshing the page. It's not normally that quick. When you're ready, click on where it says the name of your token. Now, all of the tokens are sitting on the contract itself. They're not in your wallet. This is one of the ways that we're getting around the EPSTEIN bolt. We're launching in a very different way to how we used to. So the contract itself is sitting right here. You've got to click on this little button where it says contract and click on where it says write contract. Now, if yours doesn't look like this, then you just need to wait. Sometimes you've got to wait 20, 30, 45 minutes. You might see a little yellow box that says contract ABI can't be found. If that happens, there's nothing we can do to correct it other than waiting. It's just an issue with the blockchain. You just have to go away and come back later. So you now need to connect to Web3 on BSC Scan using the same wallet that you used to create your token. There we go. And now we're going to set up the actual token itself. So we're going to set the fees first of all. So we've got marketing, liquidity and burn on the buy. We've got marketing, liquidity and burn on the sell. So I'm going to set my buy fees to 2% on all of those. And my sell fee, I'm going to set to 3%. Now remember that on every transaction, every buy and every sell, there is a 2% fee towards the payment of the contract until that reaches 2 BNB, and then it's automatically removed. Now these three numbers here for the buy fee, they are limited up to a maximum of 15%, including that 2% fee. So if this transaction doesn't go through, I'll just do this. If you see this, it means you've set your fees beyond that limit and you need to have them lower. So you've got the 2% for the contract fee until it's removed. There we go, that took a while. But then if we do it like this, it's underneath that 15 limit on the buy and on the sell, so we can process it and it will go through. So the next thing we need to do is set your wallet limits. These are set as a percent of your supply, so you could have 1%, 2%, 3%. The first one is the maximum transaction, so the number of tokens a person can buy and sell in one go. And the second one is the maximum you're going to allow someone to hold in a wallet. I personally think you should set these to both the same, because I think that if someone's got, however many tokens, 1% of your supply, they should be able to sell them all in one go. So I would go 1% and 1%. However, you cannot use decimals, so you can't put 1.5. 0.5 is something that quite a lot of people would like as the limits on their tokens. So what I've done behind the scenes, if you enter a 0, it will automatically set it to 0.5% of your supply. This is simply because Solidity doesn't allow you to enter a decimal point into these values. You can't set it to 0 because that would be pausing trade. That's not allowed. So if you put a 0 in there, it's going to set it to 0.5% of your supply. So it makes it a lot easier than trying to calculate that in tokens, which is the way I used to do it. So the only numbers you can put in here is a 0, a 1, 2, a 3, any whole number, and a 0 is counted as 0.5. So that's what we're going to do. The next thing we need to do, we've got two options. We can launch via a pre-sale platform, or we can launch directly into PancakeSwap. So if you were going to launch by a pre-sale, maybe you're on PinkSale or GenPad or something like that. First of all, we want to know the percentage of the tokens you'd like to send into their pre-sale contract. Usually it's going to be all of them, and they'll ask you what to do with the leftover tokens at the end. They'd probably send them to your wallet. But if you don't want to send all your tokens into the pre-sale contract, maybe you've got some that you want to put aside for staking or some sort of future utility, you can put in a lower percent if you want to. The rest of the tokens will be sent to your wallet, and then obviously you do with them whatever you need to do with them for your project. In the next box, you put the actual contract address of your pre-sale contract. Now, this is the pre-sale contract, not the factory. On Pink Sale, I don't know why they do this, it's incredibly confusing, but when you set up your pre-sale on Pink Sale, they tell you the factory contract address, and that's the smart contract that actually makes your pre-sale contract. You don't need to know the factory address. You never use it for anything, but it confuses a lot of people and they put that address in by mistake. So it's not the factory, it's the actual contract address itself that you'd put into this box. Now we're not going to do that, so we're not doing a pre-sale. We're going to launch directly on PancakeSwap, which is commonly known as a stealth launch or a fair launch. We don't have to go over to PancakeSwap, so if you've watched one of my previous tutorial videos, this is a lot simpler. So it's launch 3B, launch directly on PancakeSwap. So the first thing we need to do is put in how much BNB we're going to put in with our token. So for example, 3 BNB with our launch. I'm not going to do that because this is just a demo. So I'm going to put 0.01. But you want to put 1 BNB as an absolute minimum, or you're going to run into loads of problems. Any less than 1 BNB, you're going to have trouble with your token. But this is just a demo, so this is fine. And also the percent of your supply. So normally I'd recommend saying 100%, but if you need tokens for something, some kind of utility you've got planned, just as before, you can put in a lower percent and the rest of the tokens will come back to you. So I'm going to write that. And the next thing we should be doing is opening trade. Now, when I click this button, trade is open, anyone can buy and sell. Now, obviously, some people could be using bots and they might be trying to buy this token and snipe it. Now, I did used to include sniper bot protection and blacklisting capabilities inside these contracts. I don't do that anymore because it puts a red flag on your contract on DEX tools and a lot of other token checkers, even after the blacklist function has been disabled, which is crazy. We've been talking to those guys and trying to get that changed, but it really does put a negative on your token. It gives you a much lower score. So what I'm going to recommend here, if you really, really want sniper bot protection and blacklisting, contact me for a custom token and I can do that for you as long as you understand the implications of it. If you want to launch a token like this, before you open trade, your owner wallet is whitelisted. We could go over to PancakeSwap now and we could buy some of this token. In fact, I'll do exactly that so you can see. So this is moved, hasn't it? So that's the token address. I'll copy it and we'll go to PancakeSwap. And I'm on the owner wallet. I'll go to swap, go down to where it says cake, change it over to your token and import it. And then as you can see, even though trade's not open, we've got liquidity and I can buy these tokens on my wallet. So because I'm buying tokens, I'm increasing the price and I'm holding tokens. So now this is a much less attractive proposition for a bot user, because if they buy this on launch and I sell, they lose money. So they're probably not going to attack this token now that I'm holding some. So that's what I'd recommend that you do. If your token does get attacked by a bot, don't lock your liquidity, just remove your liquidity, launch again, airdrop any genuine buyers, and don't airdrop the bot. Or you can do what I've just done in this situation. And what I would then do with those tokens, after I've launched, if the contract is fine, there's only a small amount of bot activity or none at all, I would then put those tokens into liquidity, or I'd burn them, or I'd use them in a giveaway or some sort of utility. But that's one of the ways to protect yourself, and also bypassing the need for a blacklist function, which all other kinds of sniper bots really do need that, unless you're doing things like hiking up your up your gas, which really can cripple innocent buyers. Excuse me. I meant your tax. So we've got everything set up. We're now ready to open trade, so we just click on this button and trade is open. Our liquidity pair will be created. The liquidity is being added to the contract and we're now live. It's ready to go. A couple of things I want to show you. If you create a new liquidity pair, you have to put the wallet address in here and set to true. If you'd like your tokens to be removed from the total supply when they're burned in transactions, you have to set this to true. By default, that is false. That means any burned tokens will go directly to the burn wallet. We have no fee on wallet transfers. That's set to true already. If you want to set it to false, when people send tokens to another wallet, they'd be charged the same as when they buy tokens. That's the way it works. There is a thing here about removing the contract fee when the contract is processing fees. I've made a video about this. If you want to watch that video, I'll link to it in the description of this one. It talks about the problems that a contract can have with the sale fees being shown on DEX tools and PooCoin with a very high percentage, even though your sale fees aren't that high. And it's caused by the drop in price when the contract sells the tokens accumulated on it to process the fees before the person that triggered that to happen sells their own tokens. So this allows us to mitigate that problem. The way it is by default is set to false. You can change it to true, but watch that video first if that's something that you want to do. This is used to... Oh, no, I've just said those the wrong way around. Everything I've just said applies to this. This one here is to remove the fee. So you've got a 2% fee in your contract. When it reaches 2 BNB, it will be completely paid off. If you want to pay it off early, you can send some BNB by typing the number in here, like 2 BNB. It will send 2 BNB to the fee collection wallet, and it will turn your fees off. You only need to pay however much is due. So if your contract has already taken 1 BNB in fees, you only need to pay the remainder, so the 1 BNB. This is used to remove random tokens from your contract. If somebody accidentally sends some BUSD, just pop the contract address in here and the number of tokens, including the decimals in there. So if it was 1 BUSD, it'd be a 1 and 18 zeros. This is set to true by default. You never need to set it to false. It means your contract would process fees. This is set to 10 by default, which means after every 10 transactions, your contract will process fees. That works great. Don't mess with it. Everything is nice and automated. If you want to process the accumulated fees now without waiting for 10 transactions, you can do that using this function. This is where you will enter the URL for your liquidity locker, and then people will be able to find that on your token information. In here, pop a link to your Telegram group, and in here, pop a link to your website. If you want to change the wallet that collects your liquidity tokens, it's set as your owner wallet by default. You can pop a new wallet in here. Similarly, if you want to change your marketing wallet, you can pop a new marketing wallet into this box. If you want to exclude a wallet from paying fees, you can put the wallet in here and set to true. You can revert that by setting it to false. If you want to exclude a wallet from the imposed limits, like transaction and wallet holding limits, you can pop the wallet in and set to true. Sometimes you have to do this on token lockers and things like that. If you want to give a wallet pre-launch access so it can buy tokens before you open trade, just as you saw that your owner wallet can, you pop the wallet address in here and set that to true. So you could essentially collect the wallet addresses of a few people in your community and have a private whitelisted sale if you wanted to. The rest of these are just default functions that are used for ERC20 and BEP20 standards, so you don't really need to use them. So there we go. That is how you create your token using the new tokens by Gen, which is protected from the EPSTEIN bot, which is currently really messing up a lot of launches. We don't have the reflections or the rewards tokens on here at the moment, but I'm going to be adding those very shortly. If you need them, by all means get in touch with me and I can create one for you custom. And if you need anything that isn't included in this standard token, then by all means get in touch with me on Telegram, up here or at the bottom. You can see us down here. And I can create something custom particularly to suit your needs. That's all from me, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.